How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, as always, Hicksydust, here with a different project than you're used to if you've been following this channel. As I've mentioned on the channel previously, I have two sons, Jason and Ben, both of which love playing video games with me. And we also love talking about video games in our spare time. So I figured I would combine all those elements into one podcast of sorts, where we talk about our favorite video games, our favorite moments, our favorite characters, and publish that for you guys, the viewing audience, or listening audience in this case. I'm your host, as always, Hicksydust. I'm going to kick things off to my son Benjamin first, where he's going to talk to you guys about some of his favorite games.
Hello guys, my name's Benny. You guys know you like me, everyone. So I'm going to talk about my favorite games that I most like. First, Jace's Singing Monsters. Yeah, Jace has that, and he likes it, and he has so many monsters, and he has so much.
But what about you, Benny? How many do you have?
I
have a lot.
I don't know.
Alright, so what we can gain from that is both of my sons like playing My Singing Monsters, but Jace, why don't you talk to us about a different game that you like to play?
So another game I like to play, Benny, calm down, is Geometry Dash. You play the block.
Geometry Dash?
Yes.
Okay.
You play this little block man, and you gotta jump on the platforms and avoid the spikes, and don't fall. And every time you lose, you have to restart the level entirely. It's very fun.
Alright, well that's good stuff. So, both of my sons brought up mobile games. I play PlayStation 4 typically if you watch the channel, but we all have Nintendo Switches. And one of our favorite games to play is Pokemon. So today's episode is going to be mostly centered around Pokemon. We're going to talk about our favorite Pokemon from Gens 1, 2, and possibly 3 if we have time. So I'm going to kick things off back to Jace. Jace, why don't you tell us a little bit about your favorite Pokemon from Gen 1?
So, my favorite Pokemon from Generation 1 is Blastoise.
Blastoise, okay.
Is the final evolution of the Squirtle, one of the many starters from the Kanto region. One of his main moves is Hydro Pump, probably one of the most famous moves he knows, mostly used in the anime. He's just a really cool Pokemon. He's Big Blue Turtle with 2 cannons on his back. I mean, you can never go wrong with Big Blue Turtle with cannons on back. You can never go wrong with that.
Now, when you mention all of the Gen 1 starters, are you including Pikachu and Eevee, or are you just talking about the main 3?
I'm not sure what you're talking about. Those games never happened.
All right. So, Benny, why don't you tell us about your favorite Pokemon from Gen 1, and then I'll kick it off with what my favorite Pokemon was.
My favorite is Eevee, guys. You know, you all love it. He is a very cute Gen Pokemon. Gen 1, and he's one of my favorites. And I don't know, I like another Season 1, but I'm going to do another Season 1.
All right, so you like Eevee. Now, why do you like Eevee? Do you think he's a cute Pokemon? Do you like all the versatility that he can turn into? Tell me some more about that.
I like Vaporeon.
You like Vaporeon, which is the water type. Is that your favorite version of Eevee?
Yeah.
All right, so we know that Benny likes Eevee, but evolution form, he really likes Vaporeon. My favorite Pokemon from Gen 1 isn't a starter. It's actually a Cubone. I've always liked Cubone's look, even when I first played the game. I got the first game when I was around 8 years old. I believe, ironically, since this is going to upload on Easter, I think I got the first game as an Easter present. I liked Cubone way back when because of his design. He wears a skull. But as I grew older, you learn more about why he wears the skull, or you pay more attention to like the backstory of these Pokemon. And so Cubone's backstory really resonated with me. And I overall just really like this Pokemon. Now, if we're going to talk favorite starters, I think I'm going to save that for a different episode. Only one of us here picked an actual starter. I think this is going pretty well. So we're going to jump over into
Generation 2.
the Johto region, the sequel to the first. Jace, would you like to kick things off again by telling us about your favorite Pokemon from Gen 2?
So my favorite Pokemon from Generation 2, don't laugh, is Shuckle. Shuckle, the reason I love him is because he is the perfect Pokemon for memes. He is funny Pokemon, and he is the only Pokemon in the game that can cause you to soft lock your game. Because as long as you have one Shuckle in your team, and you get rid of the rest of your Pokemon in your box, in your game, you're soft locked there. He doesn't learn Surf. Meaning you're just going to stay on that one island for the rest of eternity.
So you don't like Shuckle for conceptually, for stat-wise. You just like him because he's a meme Pokemon.
And also because I love that competitively trained Shuckles are just the funniest thing ever. Because I love seeing an image of a Mewtwo, like a level 100 Mewtwo, getting destroyed, absolutely crushed by a Shuckle.
Okay.
That's just hilarious to me.
All right, so you like Shuckle for the comedy aspect of it, if I understand right. Benjamin, why don't you tell us what your favorite Generation 2 Pokemon is? And I believe you have a plushie of this one, actually, if I'm not mistaken.
It is Cyndaquil!
Very, very enthusiastic about that one. Benny, why don't you tell us why you like Cyndaquil?
Guys, I like Cyndaquil. He's like a cutest Pokemon, and he looks so cute.
Ben,
He looks like this.
Benny, they can't see you, but Benny, do you know what animal he is?
What is he?
He's an armadillo.
Oh, why does he do that? Like, why is he that?
All right, so I'm sensing a theme here with Benny's.
Boys.
All right, so I'm sensing a theme with Benny's favorite Pokemon. He liked Eevee because it's cute. He likes Cyndaquil because he thinks it's cute. Jace, for Gen 1, liked a really competitive Pokemon. Gen 2, he liked a comedy Pokemon.
No.
For Gen 3, my favorite Pokemon, I'm going to go style here. I really like Crobat. To me, giving Zubat a third evolution makes it more of a viable Pokemon.
I like Crobat.
You like Crobat too? That's awesome. But yeah, Crobat conceptually to me is one of my favorite original Pokemon to come out of Gen 2. And like I said, it just makes Zubat more viable. I always thought Volbat and Golbat were pretty cool in Gen 1 and would occasionally use them. But the fact that he got another evolution in Gen 2, to me, just made him more viable.
Question, Solver.
Okay, go ahead.
Did you just say Vubat?
Zubat. I might have said Vubat, but I meant to say Zubat. If I did...
What the heck
That
is
just
Zubat?
cracked me up. Zubat is...
He's got this.
What
He's a small
happens-
bat. He doesn't have eyes.
No. He's the devil. He shows up everywhere. He's the most annoying Pokemon ever.
And I caught one
And-
today.
Never catch Geodude if you want to fight him. Just never go into Mount Moon unless you have 50 super repels. then you're allowed in.
Well, yeah, with the frequency that Zubat
What
shows up in
are
the
you
game,
doing?
you're bound
Guys.
to catch one. Is there anything else you guys wanted to say about some of your favorite Pokemon before we moved on?
Me.
Benny, what else would you like to say?
Hello, guys. My season 3, I like Zubat.
Zubat. I don't think Zubat was from Gen 3, but if you guys want to talk about Gen 3, we can move on there for a minute.
Yep.
Guys, I like Zubat.
Zubat.
Zubat's not a...
All right, everybody. So we're going to transition into Generation 3. We'll probably end the video after we talk about Gen 3. So without further ado, Benny, why don't you tell us about your favorite Pokemon from Gen 3?
Okay, guys, I like this guy. What was this guy's name?
Since you guys can't see who Benny is pointing to, he's pointing to an Exploud,
Exploud.
the final evolution of Whisper.
He is a loud Pokemon.
Right? He's got all sorts of exhaust pipes, and
He's
got
exhausted.
he's really loud.
He's really loud.
What color is he?
Purple.
He's a purple Pokemon, right? So, with that being said, Jace, why don't you tell us a little bit about your favorite Pokemon from Gen
My
3?
favorite Pokemon from Generation 3 has to be Ludicolo.
Now, why do you like Ludicolo so much? He's a grass and water type, I know that.
Yes.
Can I see it?
That's Ludicolo. So, the first reason... just fun share, I should mention this. If you want to get a Ludicolo in Generation 3, you need a low what is it called again?
Lotad.
Lotad, then you gotta evolve the Lotad, and then you might think, oh, level up that thing? No, you gotta give it a water stone, which is very rare to come by in Generation 3. So, that's one of the
Is
hardest.
that why you like it? Because of the complexity of getting the Pokemon, or is there more to it than that? I know he's got kind of a cartoonish design.
Mine is one, I like how he looks like a duck, but also, one of my favorite hats in the world is the sombrero. He is wearing a sombrero, and it looks very funny on a duck. It's the duck sombrero tree, and I love it.
All right. So we're going to kick things off with, I'm going to tell you about my favorite Gen 3 Pokemon, and then we're going to wrap up this video. My favorite Pokemon is Aron or Aggron. You can pick either one.
I'll pick another one.
We'll talk more on another episode, buddy. Gen 2 introduced the Steel type, but Gen 3, in my mind, perfected it because Aron is one of the coolest Pokemon. I should say Aggron is one of the coolest Pokemon throughout the gen.
Which one is
He's got a
that
very cool design. He looks like
Ooh, I
almost
like
like
that
a
one too.
Mecha Godzilla or like a Metal Gear.
I
He's
like
very
that.
imposing.
I like
He's
that
got a
one.
really strong and powerful moveset.
Mom.
His Mega's really
Dude,
cool, but
talk.
that's we'll talk about that in another episode. But that's it, guys. Would you guys like to tell your names one more time for the podcast?
Hello guys, my name is Benny.
And hello, I am Jace.
And I'm your host, Hicksydust, and thank you guys so much for stopping in with us today for our
Thank
first
you.
episode of the
Thank you
Hicksydust
guys.
Family Gaming Podcast.
Thank you guys.
There.
Thank you so much.